wasn't necessarily mimicking, but I was heavily influenced because that's who I was listening to all the time. I was following him, the Christmas jams that he used to have and stuff. Like, we was all there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we all had a piece of tie in something we did, whether it was in the form of a song, whether it was in the form of them baby ties they used to wear, whether it was in the form, whatever it was, it was a culture for young people at that time. So we wanted to be a part of that wave, and we was. But again, what foundation do you have as an artist that's going to sustain you after the wave is over?
Right. Yeah. And it's crazy because a lot of those people now you found they had to like reinvent themselves.
Absolutely.
And it was just like either they changed the name of the groups.
Yep.
It was like, because after that wave left town, it was like, yo, who's next?
Who am I?
Who am I?
Right. And who's next?
You know what I'm
right.
Like, what are we doing in Philly? It's crazy. Like when I went on the ship and when I came back, it felt like I was coming back to an entirely different city. Like,
absolutely.
Matter of fact, not the ship. When I went to Ohio and moved back, because I was there for like 2-3 years. When I came back, it was just weird.
Right.
And I remember my sister was even, doing her thing.
Right,
when I
right.
came back, she was just like, the scene is just
it's
weird
different.
now. It's not the same. I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
But me and my friends talk about this all the time. Like, I'm so glad that I got an opportunity to grow up during the time that I did. Oh, yeah. Because I don't know where I would be without the great gospel gatherings, and without, the GA Christmas concerts, or without the county fairs, without Steve Middleton and Jehovah's Chosen and Hype Praise. Like, these were moments for us. Like, we didn't mind being in concerts for hours. We didn't mind being in rehearsals for hours. You know what I mean? Like, if it was a concert every night that weekend, we're there. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, it was such a different vibe, and I feel like during that time, nobody was the same. To me, it seemed like everybody had their niche, they had their thing, and then somehow those lines became blurred. Yeah, and it just all ran in together.
I would say, Kirk probably had a big deal to do with that.
Yeah,
because he's an innovator. I remember, I'm a little bit older than you, so I remember when it was all choirs.
All choirs, right?
Wagner,
right? Dobbins, Wilmington Chester, mm-hmm.
Children of Israel, freaking Rapture. I remember them jumps.
Yes,
when they
Anointed Voices
at Woodrow Wilson High School in Hampton, and them joints used to be rocking.
Right.
And I think even around that time, this is when Kurt had the family, which was an iconic group.
Yeah.
And I think when he broke it down to the groups and everybody started going to groups, I think that's when the lines kind of started getting blurred.
Yeah. Remember,
the original tie was a choir.
It was a whole choir. Wrigley's tie.
Yeah, I was at that joint.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a whole choir, and then, they broke it down, and then everybody started getting groups. Everybody started putting their name, which is cool. I don't mind putting your name in front of the group. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had their group, and then it was just like, it was Ty, it was Tony Moore, and then everybody who was trying to be like them. And then for some reason, I guess when they faded off, it just got like,
right
where we at now.
But I do believe that there's a flip side to that. Mm-hmm. And the flip side is, a lot of times in gospel, we are the last to do everything. Mm-hmm. We're the last to grasp on to like what reality, in a sense, because I think we're so inclusive that we forget what we're really supposed to be doing. So people grow up. People get families, people start having babies, they start moving, you know what I mean? So the choir thing just might not be realistic at that time, versus if I know I got a solid 6 singers, I know they're going to be there. So I think that also probably was a major reason why the choir scene kind of diminished, in a sense, and it went to the group situation, because even if I put my name in front of it, or if I drop the name of the group, I'm going to be there.
Right.
If I got to find 6 singers, I can always do that. But I'm not married to having a P.J. Owens behind me, to a Lawrence behind me, to a Benita behind me, because y'all know these people from the choir. Right. But if I know it's me, if I'm on the program, I'm going to come. So I think a lot of dynamics just have shifted. But I also think that it's not healthy it's okay to go down memory lane, but it's not healthy to live in yesterday. Right. A lot of people, I will see statuses of people, and I'll see posts, and I'm like, yo, we are so concerned about what happened yesterday and how we're not portraying those same things today, that we're forgetting what God is doing today. Like, what is he doing right now in your artistry for right now in the climate of today? The whole climate has changed. So are you still trying to feast off of yesterday? Or are you trying to, figure out what's happening today? I see that all the time, and that it concerns me, because it's like, you will never grow as an artist if you keep living in who you were or in your heyday. It's going.
Right. And that goes back to knowing who you are.
Right.
Like I said, like I told my wife, I was like, one instance of marriage is because, you're joining somebody, you're going to evolve. So you're going to have to love that person 10 years from now who might not be the same person.
Right.
Married, you know what I'm saying? And it's like that with music. Like, the music I grew up on, like I was born into the choir scene.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Me too.
So we were used to seeing choirs all the time.
Right.
So we had to evolve into to Kurt and New Nation and Ty and GA.
Right.
We broke it down. We had to evolve into, even now the thing is, the CCM movement has been around forever.
For years.
We're just getting kind of hip to it.
We're just getting hip.
Because it's starting to merge or whatever.
It is, but we're also late to the game with everything.
Exactly. But I see people are so anti CCM. Like my wife was watching like Travis Green this morning.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I know so many cats that will watch this video and be like, yo, I hate this. I hate this.
Absolutely.
Because, what I'm saying? This ain't what I grew up on. This ain't. I'm like, that's what it is right now. People want to consume that. So it's like, as an artist, as musicians, you got to be able to flow with that. Like, look, this is what people are trying to consume. They're not trying to hear a bunch of screaming anymore.
They're not.
To hear a bunch of musical interludes and all of that anymore. Like, they want something that's going to connect them, to get them where they need to go in the fastest way possible.
And that's fresh. And I don't think there's anything wrong with loving all of these genres within the genre. There's nothing wrong with that. Even though I'm not the choir or heavy gospel-y person who I once was, right, that doesn't mean I wouldn't appreciate a decent Hez concert or a dope concert where we could get all the choirs that we still have together. I would be the one in the front row, right, because again, that's a moment in my life that cultivated a lot of my musical influence. You know what I'm saying? So, but I also believe that you have to be well-rounded as an artist. For some reason, gospel artists or people expect gospel artists to only probably listen to gospel music and all I do all day is listen to what was in this industry. No, these people go home jamming the Earth, Wind and Fire, jamming the Brandy, jamming to all, but it's okay to say. You know what I'm saying? I remember one time Yolanda Adams did a tribute to Shaka Khan. And I think she might have did Sweet Thing or Through the Fire, one of those songs. But her and Shaka are friends, and she got so much backlash from doing that song. In the gospel industry, like, attacked her, and a lot of her supporters attacked her and was just like, "You're like, what you doing, like singing Shaka?" Yolanda was like, "Listen, Shaka's my friend. Right. Somebody probably pulled out at the last minute. I stepped in because my friend needed me. I don't care if you guys think that the genre is not appropriate or the song's not appropriate. She didn't say nothing that was inappropriate in the song, but people, for some reason in their minds, they have an issue with gospel. They have an issue with R&B's have come over to our side too now, because you got your Tori Kellys and your Snoops and your Kanye's even there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But people really did have a problem with her helping a friend. In my mind, if this was an opportunity, what if that was the only opportunity for her to minister to some of these people who would never step foot in a Hezekiah Walker concert or would never step foot into a church? This was her opportunity at whatever event this was to, like, be the light that we talk about in our churches. But again, we're so inclusive. We're talking about being a light within the light. Like, how can you get out and let it actually shine? That's what she did. But a lot of people just, we don't know how to appreciate yesterday for what it was and allow that to fuel us to really figure out who we are today.
Exactly. I think, too, a lot of people confuse being the light with being exclusive to gospel.
That part.
Like, you can be a light in the club. You can be
absolutely.
A light. Like, where your location is doesn't dictate who you are.
Absolutely.
You know? So it's like, when people be like, "Oh, you can't do that, or you can't do that." Look, first of all, being a light it's even more so when you're off stage, when people come up to you,
right,
and they want to know who you are. Then you could tell them, I'm this blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? Blah blah blah. And then really be alike, because people are going to see the gift first.
They're going to see it.
And the same way they react to the gift in the streets, in the secular world, is the same way they react
Absolutely.
to the church.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people can front like it's not the same reaction, but it is.
It is.
People look up on stage and see Commission. They are rock stars.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, my wife, she's obsessed with Commission.
Right.
They're coming to Philly. She was the first one in line to get them tickets. So it was just like, Commission... How people look at Commission the same way how people look at, Rolling Stones or something.
Right.
Like that. Only difference is the message.
The message in the genre, in the perception of the drama, the genre.
Right. The perception. Because these cats, like, especially with R&B stuff, when people get on R&B, I'm like, yo, cats are writing. Every gospel artist has the potential to be an R&B artist. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it's the vibe is technically the same. You know what I'm saying? It's just who we're writing about.
Right.
But let some people tell it, it's like, yo, and I'm not gonna lie, my mother was the same way, because she grew up in the old school.
Yeah, it's
everything
a mindset.
that wasn't gospel was rock and roll.
Right.
Period. It don't matter what it was, it's rock and roll. But I think now that she's older, she has a better understanding. But the cats in this generation, I'm just like, seriously, what is going on?
Right. But I believe, like, I think, again, you have to get to a point where I stepped back from the industry. I stopped my group in 2009. I didn't necessarily want to, but it was my senior year in college. We had an album, so I recorded. I did that, which was good. Yeah. But I stepped back because I wasn't comfortable with me. Okay. I wasn't comfortable with me, and I didn't like who I was becoming in this industry. So I stepped back on purpose. I wanted to figure out what career I actually wanted. I wanted to figure out who am I as an adult now. I started the group when I was 16. So when I got out of college, I'm a complete different person. Right. So, of course, people see you singing, you're going to be a world praise and worship. You're going to be, no. Just because I have a gift of maybe a forefront gift, that doesn't automatically mean I'm going to preach. That doesn't automatically mean I'm going to be what everybody else or follow the pattern of how everybody else did it. I'm not easily swayed that way. I've never been that guy. So I stepped back on purpose. And again, coming back into it is just like, wow, like now you can actually see who you are and be comfortable in all of the deposits that was made inside of you. We've been in church our entire life. There's no way I'm going to spend my entire life singing to church.
Right.
That makes no sense to me. Now, for some people, that might be okay, but I just feel like we limit the creator of creativity to a genre. That's not okay for me. If John Legend called me tomorrow and said, I need you on this track, I'm going. Right. If Nikki called and said, PJ, I want you on this track, I'm going. Why? Because I'm solid in my foundation. I'm solid in my faith. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we all have our struggles, but I'm solid in these things to where I'm not going to succumb to what y'all are doing. I don't care. Y'all can be there from doing drugs all you want. That don't mean I got to do it.
That's what I'm saying. And people always try to group all of that stuff together and just assume, like, they see you on stage with John Legend. Oh, man, Peach done fell off.
You fell off. You sold out.
You sold out.
You backsliding.
All tripping. Like,
I'm not.
Nah, it's not. Like, that was never, like, with me, the weed and drugs and all that, that was never my thing.
Right.
And it had nothing to do with the fact that, my mother's a bishop, my grandmother's a bishop. It was just at a young age, I figured out, okay, they're doing that. I'm not trying to do that.
Right.
I don't need to do that. So I'm good. So it's like,
it just wasn't for you.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, if people see me in the club playing for somebody, it shouldn't mean anything. Because, like, just because I'm here doesn't mean anything.
Right.
We already know what type of tip I'm on. Unless you see me smoking somewhere, which nobody's has. But it's like, people just make assumptions. And that's why it goes back to knowing who you are. Once you know who you are, you do less things for other people.
Absolutely.
You realize, like, why do I have to change who I am, knowing who I am, for somebody else?
And that's never okay. And again, we're not taught to have this mindset, though. If you look at, like, our parents, our grandparents, they were taught to be a certain kind of way. And I believe that our generation, we are not afraid to ask questions when we don't understand something. There's so many things that just does not make sense to me. And I'm going to ask why. Right. They were taught asking questions or questioning adults is deemed disrespectful, or you shouldn't do this because, don't never question an adult. No, if I don't ask a question, How am I supposed to get the answer?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I'm going to ask for clarity, but what I'm finding is when I ask certain questions,